May 1995.
A national inquiry presided over by Sir Ronald Wilson, the President of the Australian Human Rights and Equal Opportunities Commission, and Mick Dodson, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Social Justice Commissioners at the Human Rights and Equal Opportunity Commission began. The inquiry visited every state and territory in Australia, heard testimony from 535 Aboriginal Australians, and received submissions of evidence from over 600 more.
In early 1997,
The official Bringing Them Home report of the National Inquiry into the Separation of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children from their families was released, and the issues of the stolen generations received significant public attention. However, in the same year, the newly elected federal government, led by Prime Minister John Howard, did not take up the recommendation of the National Inquiry for an official apology. He argued that it is inappropriate for the current government to apologise for the action of past governments.
Federal opposition leader Mr Brendan Nelson says Australians should focus on fixing the disgraceful circumstances in which many Indigenous Australians find themselves today. Dr Nelson made the comment as he supported a motion for a formal apology to the stolen generations from the Prime Minister Mr Kevin Rudd in Parliament. Dr Nelson says Aboriginal Australians face problems including lower life expectancies, alcohol abuse, political backpassing, lack of home ownership and the tolerance by authorities of neglect and child abuse. But he says it must be remembered that those who removed Indigenous children from their families were seeking to do good.
It's reasonably argued that removal from squalor led to better lives. Children fed, housed and educated for an adult world of which they could not have imagined. However, from my life as a family doctor and knowing the impact of my own father's removal from his unmarried teenage mother, not knowing who you are is the source of deep, scarring sorrows, the real meaning of which can be known only to those who have endured it.
Brendan Nelson's speech has received mixed reactions. However, the Indigenous Australians have welcomed the apology to the stolen generations, saying it's genuine, sincere and moving.
Well, I was a bit confused there when they done that. Myself, personally, I kind of wasn't quite sure why they done that, because my grandfather and my uncles fought in the First and Second World War, and they never got acknowledged until a long time later. They never received their medals until 1988. I think my uncle received his war medals because he never received them at the proper time, and wasn't acknowledged. And yeah, I couldn't understand why they'd done that, but I wasn't. Maybe I've missed his comment or what he was saying, because I was pretty much emotional at the time too, because with my grandkids and my daughter, you know. Yeah.
1998.
The community-based National Sorry Day Committee was formed as a result of the 54 recommendations made in the Bring Them Home report.
May 26, 1998.
The first Sorry Day was held in Australia. Over 500,000 people responded by signing sorry books and taking part in ceremonies on Sorry Day. The National Sorry Day is held annually on May the 26th.
April 2000.
The Minister of Aboriginal Affairs, John Herron, stated that no more than 10% of Aboriginal children were removed, and it didn't constitute a generation. Hence, there was no stolen generation. This further endangered the already difficult process of reconciliation at the national level.
Well, apology is the first step, I think, because that's why John Howard wouldn't apologise or refuse to say sorry, because when you apologise, you're acknowledging that there was an injustice done or somebody's done some wrong, so you've accepted that there has been a wrongdoing, and apology is the first step in undertaking the next steps to rectify and get it right, so yeah.
August 2004.
The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization formally recognized the collection of 461 storybooks, recording the thoughts of thousands of Australians as part of the 9 significant document heritage items on the Australian Memory of the World Register.
May 2005.
Australian Day of Conciliation made its debut in London, England, organised by the European Network for Indigenous Australian Rights.